Cool. And we're live. This is Matthew speaking, and welcome back to the Scent Spotlight, the podcast where we're highlighting all the amazing creative individuals and creators on the Scent platform. Today, I have a really special guest. They're actually the first guest to be featured in the Spotlight twice. They're a very familiar face on the Scent platform. They've been with us since way back in the day. I'm really excited to be speaking again with Neel.
Hey, how's it going?
I know a lot of the Sentians already know who you are, but just for anyone that may be new, could you just reintroduce yourself and tell everyone on Scent who you are?
Yeah, sure. I've been on Scent, I think formally for over a year, but I think around this time last year is when I got on Scent. And so I've kind of done a little bit of everything on Scent. I think maybe most people from back in the day, around the time that we last spoke on a Spotlight, was I think people most knew me for the memes, the Scent memes that I made, which I've kind of dialed back on now. But now I'm mostly doing crypto art and kind of just more creative stuff. And yeah, I don't know, I guess I'm just a regular user in my view, but a lot of people might see different parts of what I do on Scent and stuff and other places.
Yeah. And then, I remember that you had been studying civil engineering, which was kind of blew my mind at the time. I was like, man, this meme artist is also a civil engineer, because I previously worked in EPC contracting. So, I mean, how are those studies going? I know you had been taking a little bit of a break, but did you dive back into that?
Yeah. At that time I was on the track for civil engineering, and since then I was taking a little break off of school for a little bit because I wasn't really sure if I wanted to continue with that. So I'm kind of not sure at this point what I want to major in or study in. So that's kind of why I took a break, and that was really about the time when I started on Scent, and coincidentally on Scent and doing all these other things with crypto art and stuff. So that's kind of been my way to kind of explore different things that I enjoy, because I do have a lot of varied interests beyond a specific math and science or creative and more liberal arts, or what you would call maybe humanities and all that. So yeah.
No, man. I mean, I think exploring what you feel most passionate about, that's probably one of the most valuable things that you can do with your time. It's kind of a mistake to just pursue the degree to the end if you don't really like that, if you're not really going to utilize that, especially given the cost of American education.
Right. Yeah, that was originally the point of me kind of just trying to taking a step back. Because originally when I started college, I was thinking about doing engineering and stuff, because I had a interest in technology and and all that. And at first I was thinking maybe I would go into aerospace engineering. So when I was a teenager, rockets are cool. So, and they still are. I still love rockets and space and stuff. It's just, I learned a little bit more about what I was getting into once I got to college, and then kind of realized that I should take some time to really figure out what's going on here.
Yeah. Well, you kind of mentioned it when you're reintroducing yourself, but I first came across you basically for your memes. And I know a lot of the people that have been on Scent for a while, they remember a lot of your memes, but you've really left that behind, and you're a proper crypto artist now. You're on Super Rare. People are collecting your work. It's awesome to see you within the collections of Token Angels, for example, major collectors, myself as well. But I'm just wondering if you could kind of track that creative journey from hopping onto Scent, starting with the memes, and then getting into the crypto art. Take us through that journey. It hasn't been that long. It's crazy. It seems like forever.
In the crypto art thing, is I really started before I even knew about Scent. Well, to go back a little bit, before I even got into crypto, I started doing a little bit of photography when I first started college, and I got into that, and I really liked that, and I kind of discovered a little bit more about the visual, creative stuff that I was good at or interested in. And it was once I started getting into crypto more fully a couple years back. I don't know how long it's been. It feels like I've been here forever now. But I guess, was it July. The year that Super Rare launched, it was like a few months after that where I discovered them, and it was really small, and it was kind of just like a novelty to see it at that time, just because it was brand new, and there was not very many people on there. So I thought maybe I'd like submit some of my like more like touched up and edited like photographs and whatever. See if they wanted to put that up. And I didn't know how it worked or anything, and I really didn't really get into crypto and like into the Web3 kind of area of smart contracts and all that before that. So that was kind of like the first app. That was the first like decentralized app that I encountered like and interacted with. And so that kind of like pulled me into all this a little bit further. And I mean, at the time, I didn't really put a lot of stuff up on Super Rare because I was more of a novelty, and I was still getting a hang of all this like the virtual machine, Ethereum virtual machine, and decentralized computing and all that. But it was later on when I got onto Cent, I think December of that year, December of last year, when I started putting out like my previous photographs in a series. I don't know if you remember that one from a year ago, and it was funny actually because I was looking back at my previous posts on Send, and I looked back and today's the 20th. I think it might be the 21st over there in Korea. Exactly a year ago, I made a post introducing people to Super Rare and explaining what it was. And I'm not sure, but I think that might have been the first thing that like crypto art made on Send. I could be wrong, but I remember like posting that, like thinking that nobody's going to have any idea of what this actually is. Yeah, and I mean, if you read it, it's like me like trying to explain the whole concept, like very briefly. I'll send you a link to it. I think you might find it interesting. Anyway, so yeah, from there, when I got onto Cent, I started looking more into like the Web3 aspect of blockchain and crypto and all that. So then I reintroduced myself to Super Rare, and like I saw so much more than what was there when I first got on. Like before, like that few months after they launched, there was like, who was there? Like Xcopy was on there posting stuff, I think, Hackatow, and Dr. Beef, and with his AI work and all that. That was pretty much all there was, and there was like maybe a new piece of art put up every other day, a day, I don't know. But now there's like 15, 20 a day at least. But yeah, that's a conservative estimate. Yeah. And so I started looking into it, and I saw all the other stuff that people were doing. And that kind of, at that time I was doing a lot of the memes and stuff, and I had some background with like video editing and like photography and like all those kinds of tools and stuff for creating like digital visuals and that kind of stuff. And so I thought I might try to do some non-photography based like graphic design, which I've done also in the past, but like make it more of like an art focused kind of thing. And so I just started doing that, and it seemed to people seem to like it, and I got a few bids. Not very many at first, obviously, because there wasn't as much activity on there. But once I started posting more stuff on Super Rare, I really got into it, and just, I don't know, just took off. Just got more ideas, more I did digital artworks and put them up, whatever. I got more people gave feedback, and I got more idea of like what I could do, and like different ideas that kind of just, that usually, just ideas you have that I usually wouldn't think of as like, oh, I can make that an artwork. But I would, now it would like, that was like the next thought. It was like, oh, I wonder how I could do that, or like, what can I make? How can I put that into a visual or picture and represent that? So I really like that, like kind of like putting your thoughts onto onto paper, not just as maybe like a written essay or something, but like in a very more dense visual aspect. So yeah, and I just kept going. And since then, it's the activity and the amount of collectors and all that has obviously like skyrocketed. And so yeah, it's amazing. I can't keep up with everything there. That's some super rare in other places now.
Mm-hmm. Well, what you just said a moment ago, like how you like putting your ideas down on paper, or I guess like the digital canvas, that really reminds me of like what Skeeny really tries to focus on, like manifesting these ideas. I feel like that's one of the most powerful uses of art, period. But especially in the digital form, it's just, you can get these ideas across so quickly, relatively, and then so widely to so many people. But the work that you have shared, there's some of it is obviously very political. Some of it is in paying homage to like the tech aspect of blockchain, like the key figures and things like that. But I'm just wondering from your perspective, like what parts of yourself or your personality or whatever do you think are reflected most in the works that you have been sharing?
I don't know. Like I guess it's kind of hard to say because I think that everything I put out or make is inherently part of me that's in there, you know. I think perhaps just maybe it's just the concepts or the kind of artwork that I put out, I guess, is just like, maybe you could say that reflects some kind of like my thought process or the things that I'm interested in or have ideas about. Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to tell though, like as from my point of view.
Mm-hmm. And then, well, I mean, the space is starting to pick up steam. I mean, more people are coming in here, but still, I think like the most common reaction for people not familiar with crypto or crypto art, when you let them know that, oh, I'm collecting digital art and super rare or something like that, is like, what the F is crypto art? The people have no idea about it. And then if they catch it and grok it, they're like, well, why are you paying like hundreds of dollars? Why would anyone pay hundreds of dollars, thousands of dollars for digital art? And I'm just wondering, like, if you've encountered that, and then if you do encounter people that are maybe new to the space, like, how do you explain what crypto art is to the uninitiated?
Yeah, like you said, it's kind of like hard for like people like just to understand the motives or the rationale behind collecting and like spending money, like large amounts of money, especially like the amount of money on some of the more recent artworks on super rare, especially. It's just mind-boggling. Like you bought the Saint Nakamoto one. That was like the biggest bid or biggest sale in history, and then like not even a week later, there was one that was like 10 times the amount that got sold. Yeah, that's crazy to me, and so I mean I get why people do that. Like personally, that's more like a subjective like thing, and I think that's kind of just the same as regular art. And so that's kind of like how I try to explain it to other people. Is like in traditional art, why would you buy the Mona Lisa for millions of dollars when you can look it up online? You know, people buy it because it's the original one, and it has value because it is the original one, and it is so famous, and people know it. And maybe the collector just really likes it and thought it would look good on their wall, or they really felt some meaning behind it, and they wanted to personally hold it and in their possession. So I think the same. I don't think that's any different in the crypto art space in that aspect. So and along with the money aspect, the part of it is like in the traditional art world, somebody bought a banana for $120,000. That's ridiculous, right? I mean, there's obviously like some weird valuations, and like it's just a subjective thing really for most people, you know. And obviously there's also other things like tax tax exemptions that people try to get out of it, and but that's like if you're really in a lot of dough and you're trying to use it efficiently, I guess that's just, I mean, that's a problem of being rich, I guess. You got to buy art.
All those rich people, all their problems.
Yeah, $120,000 banana. It's like that one just doesn't make sense to me. It's gonna decay, and it's not even the original after a while.
Well, did you hear? I mean, I think the owner now can substitute the banana. It's not the banana itself; it's just the idea that there's a banana taped to the wall. That's the art.
Yeah, I think I read that they sent instructions on how to replace it every week or something.
Yeah.
So, and the artwork that they have a certificate for is just the concept, which is really just a patent, isn't it? It's not that different, just a patent. You're the only one that can do that, but other people can tape bananas to walls, I guess, but I don't know.
Yeah. And I mean, I think the one thing to always remind ourselves about, and you're kind of alluding to this, is how there's such strong parallels to the traditional art world and what's happening with digital art and crypto art. But just reminding ourselves that there's so many people, the majority of people really don't give an F about art, in real life, right?
Right.
Certain people that fly in those circles, they definitely really care about it. But majority of people are just well, that's a cool looking image, or that's a crazy concept. Why would you pay $120,000 and then eat your art? That's kind of weird.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there's not going to be everyone just glomming onto crypto art and just falling in love with it and understanding the significance or the underlying meaning, things like that. And just important to kind of keep that context, I think. But
yeah, for sure.
There is a lot of feel-goodery, kind of circle jerking going on within the space. I think that there's some people that are feeling man, we got to keep this shit a little bit more real. And there's not that many hot takes that I've heard. They're starting to see on Scent, which is cool. People just asking questions or playing devil's advocate, asking is this stuff really worth what's happening, or is this the beginning of a mini bubble? But I'm wondering, because I know you're a man of quite tasty hot takes, if you can add a little spice into this equation and give us your spiciest take on what's happening in crypto art right now.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much going on, and there's so much to keep track of now, and there's so many people involved with it. It's kind of hard to just kind of take everything in and try to understand how it's developing 100%. So it's kind of hard to gauge that. But from what I've seen, I don't know, just one of the things is the content of the crypto art I thought was I mean, at the beginning, it's obviously a lot of blockchain based kind of artwork or content, and I mean that makes sense just because of the medium is just, it's on the blockchain, so that would make sense how you want to represent that in an artwork. But I think that the aim of developing crypto art platforms is to allow artists to more efficiently and more freely create, trade, buy, sell art, and it's not necessarily linked to crypto art literally, as in art that is about crypto. And I think that once people start seeing that, and more regular artists that are not necessarily crypto enthusiasts and all that get on board with crypto art and really use it for all sorts of art, and that kind of spread it around into different niches and all that. I think that's really the purpose of the movement and the platform and the technology behind it, right? So, and I see a lot of and I like the Bitcoin and blockchain based work and subject matter and all that. It seems there's a lot of sometimes I feel it's a little too much, a lot of, I don't know, it just seems all there are some people that only do that kind of stuff, which is fine, that's their thing, and that's just their style and what they're interested in. But at least from what I've seen on like from collectors, it's just like if you put a Bitcoin logo on your artwork, it's like 10 times as valuable. And I don't know. I guess yeah, I think a lot of like other artwork that's not strictly related to blockchain in their content or their subject is kind of like passed up by not just the viewer but by collectors too. And once that's not the case, I think it's really when the crypto arts will really skyrocket and take off. So.
Mm-hmm. No, I can definitely understand that. And then, well, I just want to ask you, like, heading forward, what are your sort of plans? Like, is there anything that you're working on right now? Any work in progress, or is there some end state or some sort of like tool that you'd like to master and create some work with? I guess within the next year in 2020, what do you really want to accomplish in the crypto art space?
I'm not sure what I want to accomplish necessarily. It's kind of like a as it happens kind of thing, and just put something together and like flesh out an idea I've already had. That's kind of like the aspect of it I really liked, is just kind of going with it, going with the thought and going with the concept and just letting it happen. And once I put it out there, it's for everybody else to figure out what they want to do with it and how they want to react to it. But, you know, I'm not really a fan of marketing or producing efficiently and like trying to like selling the art as it is, at least not in the artwork. I mean, I'll market myself as something else, but the art itself, I like to just put it out there and just let people take it. So from that aspect, I've really not done like a whole lot of art as some others have. Like I usually like to stick with like a concept or artwork and just kind of work it out and fix it up how I imagine I wanted it to be. And so usually I'll like start it and then I'll like forget about it for like weeks or I'll do a little bit here and then I'll forget about it and just not be interested in it. So like right now I have like there's like 3 or 4 projects that I've officially like started and saved files, like projects for like a folder that I want to finish at some point. But right now I'm trying to do one that's more of like it's kind of like a mural almost, and I think I'm gonna like animate it and stuff. But yeah, I'm just trying to like I don't know. I want to do some more where like there's a lot more to look at. It's not just like one simple thing, but like it's got to be like something that's more elaborate or like has more layers and depth and meaning, and like put it all into one thing. I've seen a lot of other people who've done that kind of like in depth, like capturing a certain thing, and maybe not necessarily like it doesn't make sense, but it's just like whoa, so what's going on? Like you gotta take a look, stop, and check this out for a second. I really like those kinds of like artworks that are like that. Yeah, I mean, I usually I like minimalistic, like simplistic, like graphic design that's like really crisp and easy to look at, and it's like catches your eye. But yeah, for like when you're doing art, it's not necessarily. I think I want to try to move past that and like kind of do something else like that. That's more like dynamic or more layered and all that. But, yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. I'm super excited to see what you cook up on that front. But then, well, kind of a follow-up question to that. And I think this is always really interesting to hear from the creators because, I mean, a lot of people have works in progress, but when do you personally like know or feel that a work is done and like ready to throw out there?
Yeah. Well, I think that's one of the problems. I think I'm sure it's not just me, but most creative people that do creative work is it's never done, and there's always more to fix. And so I really tried to like stop myself and say this is as good as it's going to get, and putting more time is just going to be not as efficient. use of time. And so that's it. Just export, save. But yeah, it's hard to say. It depends also like what exactly it is. Like if it's like a minimalistic kind of like simple logo graphic design or something like that, it's easy kind of to tell where it's like, yeah, that's what I was thinking, because there's not much going on there. There's not much to like inspect, and it's like, yeah, that looks like what I was thinking of making, and we're done. But like if it's something like that has like more subjective, or like more you're trying to portray something, like especially because like a lot of my stuff is more, I guess you could call it like concept art or conceptual, where it's like there's a specific idea or concept that you want to portray before you even start it, and so then everything else you have to fill in so that it matches that. And so that's really the hard part in trying to figure out when is it done, because you never know how other people are going to take it, or how other person might look at it and what they see. So, and then it's always, yeah, it's just like a never ending. It's like, oh, but to do this, and then I'll make it easier for them to understand the point. And then if I fix that, then maybe this like other interpretation might come out of it. And, so yeah, it's hard.
It's amazing how much of an art in and of itself, like actually thinking that something is done or ready to go, or at that point where it's like, okay, I need to move on. It's always figuring out how people think about that is really interesting. And I feel like, I mean, I'm a writer, I'm not gifted at all when it comes to like visual design or graphic design or anything like that. But it's kind of the same way. It's like, okay, like I think this is at a place where I've gone over this piece of writing a couple of times. It's simple. I think I pared it down. Okay, let's move on to the next thing. Because I mean, ultimately, like everything that you've done in the past, as long as you have it out there, there's going to be some sort of influence or some way you can look back on it and re-experience it and like maybe learn something from it, versus like if you never put it out there and never have something to look back at, there's no way to get that like follow up like learning or whatever. That's sort of how I look at it. But sliding into the last question, is there anyone on Scent that you'd like to see spotlighted?
Okay, let's see. I mean, because there's so many people that there's so many artists that like I just don't even know about, and I've just like come across their stuff. I have no idea where they are. If they on Scent, or are they like doing other stuff? Have they been on this spotlight thing? Like Max Osiris is one that I really like his work, and he seems like a really interesting guy. Have you had him on the spotlight?
Yeah, I spotlighted Max. I think right before his LA crypto art show. He's freaking awesome. I've spoken with him several times as well. It's a great episode.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. And then, so he was one that I really like, and he's pretty prolific on Super Rare. I think he has the most sold crypto artwork on the platform. I could be, or something like that, but not like prolific in like a way that's like cheap. It's like there's all of this stuff has like something interesting and eye catching and like intriguing about it. So, yeah. And then, another guy, Robness Cypher Bob.
Oh yeah.
I don't think he's on Scent, or at least I haven't seen him on Scent.
He is on Scent, sir.
He is. Has he just recently gotten on?
He got on a couple months back. He posted, then kind of like went on a sabbatical, and then he dropped another post literally last week. So I would love to have him on and share his thoughts, because I know, I mean, he's also a creator, but he's a collector, and the way that he thinks is just really different. Actually, I sort of see Robness and Max Osiris as kind of like two peas from the same pod almost. I hope they know one another in real life. That would be kind of cool, but I would love to speak more with Rob.
Yeah. I really like his stuff. I mean, he has like a lot more history in the crypto art space as well, and also he's been in I think he was making music, if I'm not mistaken. He's had a lot of like vaporwave influence on his artwork, and he's mentioned like he's been in the vaporwave scene for a long time. So I was chatting with him in a Telegram group of artists, and he made that was like for artists to like brutally critique others' work,
Yeah.
so you don't just get like a bunch of fuzz and like, oh, it looks great. Like, and you get some actual criticism and like all that. So we critiqued each other's stuff brutally, and it was good. Yeah. And so I think he found some help in that and good insight, and I did too. So it was great. Yeah. So he'd be another one. Who else? You had blackrocks.art/Sparrow on recently, right?
Yeah, that's right. A couple weeks back, her episode dropped. That was an awesome conversation.
Yeah, I think I remember listening to that. Yeah, I do remember actually. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Now I remember. Love Art Hate. Have you had him on?
No, that would be cool to speak with him.
I would really like to get some insight into his like scene and all that, into what he does, because he's also really prolific in his artwork, and he's also like, even before like a lot of crypto art got started on Scent, he was pumping out artwork on Scent and was sharing it, even if it wasn't like tokenized or anything.
Mm-hmm.
And it's always something unique and different. He does like a lot of like abstract, like geometrical kind of designs and stuff, which I really liked. And it'd be interesting to get his take and insight onto what he does.
Same. He was one of the first people on the scene with like their own token before the social money thing popped off. Like he actually tokenized everything himself. Like he didn't rely on Roll or anything. So yeah, his mind is really, really interesting. His ideas he's constantly experimenting and kicking the tires out. Well, again, it was awesome to reconnect and speak again. I'm really excited to share this with the rest of the community. So, because like you mentioned, there's something about this audio form factor that it really helps people connect more closely with the user handles when they hear their voice. So, man, well, thank you again for your time, man. Have an awesome weekend and have a happy holidays.
Yeah, same to you. All right.
All right, take it easy.
Yep, you too.